The transfer window is well underway in the Premier League. So there is 15 confirmed transfers that we're going to class from game changer to wrong move. So stay till the end of the video to discover who are the game changers. Let's dive in. We start strong with Florian Wirtz to Liverpool, a move that has choked all the whole Premier League this window. We didn't really think that Liverpool would move for a number 10, even if Slot has said it earlier in the season. I think one of the main issues that Liverpool had was creativity, especially in that 10 role. Liverpool has said it that he was waiting more for Dominic Szoboszlai in the offensive contributions. Especially Liverpool needed a creative midfielder after losing Trent Alexander-Arnold, and they have went for Florian Wirtz, who's not only one of the best young talented midfielders, but also they have snatched him from a team like Manchester City, also a team like Bayern, who are direct rivals for big titles. So for me, Florian Wirtz, for all what he represents, for what he has done at that young age, again, he comes in from a season where, again, he's in the double digits in goals and assists. From the last 2 seasons, he's the only player who has done it with Mo Salah. Again, he's in an elite company. His numbers, his creative numbers are just astronomical. He's won the league. I don't think he feels the pressure of that huge fee. So for me, Florian Wirtz, for me, is a game changer. I don't see any reason in the world where it doesn't work out for him. So for me, Florian Wirtz is, again, a game changer. The next player we have is Matheus Cunha. I know that a lot of players, when they move recently to Manchester United, they forget how to play football, but I want to be optimistic with Matheus Cunha, because first, he comes in a team where there is a need in that exile position. I think first time in the recent years Manchester United have gone for the right profile again in that second striker role, in that sort of number 10 who comes from the left. I think it's the right position for Matheus Cunha. He signs for not a big fee, I think 60 million for one of the best players in the Premier League. Again, I think it's the right fee. He has played for big clubs like Atletico Madrid, plays for Brazil. He has a lot of experience. Again, has been carrying Wolverhampton in the last few seasons. What about Ryan Aït-Nouri to Manchester City? Again, I think this move has been underrated. I didn't see many people talk about it, but we're talking about one of the best left back moving to one of the best teams in the league again. I think the fee is ridiculously low. I think it's around 35 million for one of the best left back in the Premier League. Again, maybe that's why it's underrated, because Ryan Aït-Nouri is a great fullback, can play inverted low like how Pep likes them, and also play as a natural or as a regular fullback. He has the pace to play as a regular fullback, but has also the technical ability to play as an inverted fullback. Can also, I think his defensive abilities are a bit underrated. I've seen him against Salah, he hasn't really struggled. For me, I think really Ryan Aït-Nouri to Manchester City is a great fit. What about Fer Lopez to Wolverhampton? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know Fer Lopez enough to judge him. I know that he's one of the best prospects in La Liga last season, but again, he has only started 7 games last season. Is he worth they have paid for him? I'm not a big fan of these moves because I think he's still a young player. I don't think he needs that pressure to move to a team like, especially as Wolverhampton going for, to be the replacement of a big player like Matheus Cunha. I think hasn't really shown much in La Liga. He has scored, I think, 2 goals in his 7 starts, which is not really bad. But again, to me, that's a bit a gamble for me. What about Maxime de Kuipel to Brighton? One of my favorite players last season that I've discovered in that Club Bridge team. He's really a modern left back. I think he would have even been a better replacement for Ryan Aït-Nouri at Wolverhampton. He's a modern left back, really has a great foot, but also likes those overlapping lines, which I think Fabian Hurzeler, I think that's his name, the Brighton coach, will like. But my only wonder is, where is he gonna play? Because right now Brighton has 2 great left back. They have Pervis Estupinian, who was really been solid, and I think he still has level for a team like Brighton. They have also Ferdi Kadioglu, who's really been great. The Turkish left back, they have bought him last summer. I know that Kadioglu can play also as a right back and play in the midfield, but I'm a bit worried where will Maxim de Kuipel play. There is no doubt about the quality of the player. He's straight into good addition for me. What about Milos Kerkez for me? He's already potentially a game changer for me, because last season one of the main issues that Liverpool had was the left back position. We've understood that Andrew Robertson has passed his prime. Liverpool needed basically a left back. We've seen really many mistakes coming from that role. Many goals came from that position, and you're going for, honestly, I want to say even the best left back last season in that Bournemouth side. He's really young, but he's relentless. He's constantly running. He's also good defensively. I've seen his first preseason game. He's basically a Robertson 2.0, will fit exceptionally well in that slot team. So for me, he's a great fit and potentially could be even a game changer in that role. What about Tielno Barry, the 6'4" striker who's had a great season last season in La Liga, coming from Villarreal? It was his first season with Villarreal. Would have loved maybe to see him in the Champions League with Villarreal, but he's chosen to move in the Premier League, and honestly, we can't blame him. He's coming to one of the best leagues in the world, coming also to play in the team under David Moyes, which I think he will know how to use him. Again, Tielno Barry last season, I think he scored 11 goals in La Liga in his first season in La Liga, which I think 11 goals in La Liga, it's good, and I think he really has huge potential. I'm wondering why other big teams haven't really looked at him, and I'm a bit curious on how Everton managed to get this deal done. Is there any release clause in the future? Because I think Tierney Barry will move to, I don't want to disrespect Everton fans, but I think he will move to even a big club. He has that potential. Don't forget that he has scored 20 goals in the Belgian league. So for me, Tierney Barry for me to Everton, it's really a great fit. They have been missing from a profile like him, especially after losing Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free. Tierney Barry and potentially Pedro partnering in that Everton attack, I think it will be dangerous next season. What about Martin Zubimendi, another underrated signing this season? Because I think players like Martin Zubimendi are rare in this modern football, and I think Arsenal lacked a player like him since Xhaka left, someone who will control the midfield. I think Arteta, especially Arteta, who has been a midfielder, knows the importance of a player like him. We're talking about a player that finished last season with an 87% pass accuracy, someone who averages 2 to 3 tackles per 90. I think Zubimendi is clearly an upgrade over Thomas Partey, and Arsenal fans will see it this season. And I think also having Martin Zubimendi at the base of your midfield will make Arsenal even create more chances next season and score more goals. So for me, Martin Zubimendi could potentially be a game changer, but for me right now, again, I put him in great fit. So far for now, all players are in great fit. What about the next player that Liverpool have bought this season, who's Jeremy Frimpong? Look, I think Jeremy Frimpong is a great player. He has shown it in that Leverkusen side, and don't think there is a lot to say about him. He's again coming from a season where he had, I think, 12 goal involvement in that wing back role. But at Liverpool, he'll play in a back four. He's right back, his best position. And I've got doubts, the same doubts I had with Hakimi when he moved to PSG, but Hakimi currently is the best right back in the world. So I might be wrong, but also why I have doubts is because that Conor Bradley has shown that he has delivered, and I think going to the season, I think Conor Bradley is my starting right back. I think it's his spot to lose. So for me, bringing in Jeremy Frimpong, who can maybe rival Conor Bradley for that right back, but also can cover Salah as a right wing, I think it's a good addition. What about Joao Pedro to Chelsea? Again, Joao Pedro, 2 weeks ago, when he signed, I would have said he would be a great fit in that Chelsea team. I think we know how Joao Pedro is good. We knew what he was capable of. We have seen him in the Brighton side. We have seen him at Watford when he arrived at a young age from Brazil. Technically incredible. I wasn't convinced about him as a number 9. I thought he was that kind of player that's good with another number 9 around him. But honestly, I think his performances in the Club World Cup has just spoke for him. I think Chelsea have been crying for a player who can score those goals, a player who can be clinical in front, and I think he's just a game changer in that attack. I think Joao Pedro brings that Chelsea attack in another dynamic. The next player on the tier list is Tijani Reinders. Tijani Reinders is coming from his best season of his life, also the season where he played the most games. I think this season he has played 55 games. He's scored 15 goals from a midfielder. I think that's huge. But I think Tijani Reinders honestly was the missing profile, a player that can partner with Rodri in that midfield. I think Tijani Reinders goes straight into game changer. I think he's the idea that Guardiola wants with a player like Ilkay Gundogan, but unfortunately Ilkay Gundogan has passed his prime. So a player like Tijani Reinders coming also for a fee around 60 million, which I think it's not crazy, coming from the best season of his life where he was one of the best midfielders in Europe. I think that's a game changer move. What about Liam Delap to Chelsea? Look, Liam Delap has shown last season that he's ready for the Premier League. He has physical abilities that suit any team in the Premier League. I think 11 goals in his first season in the Premier League is quite good. And the move to Chelsea in that sort of Manchester City B team, I think it's a great move. He's coming from Ipswich again to play with players like Cole Palmer, where he has played with him in that Manchester City academy. He's playing under Enzo Maresca, who coached the Manchester City under-23 team, where he kept breaking records of course. I think Liam Delap will be a huge player for Chelsea. I think he can also play up top with a player like Joao Pedro. So for me, Liam Delap, I think it's a good addition for Chelsea. What about Mohamed Kudus to Tottenham? Look, I think this is the type of players that Thomas Frank will know how to use in his new looking Spurs. I think it's a great move, especially for a player that can play across the front three position. I think he can play as a left wing, can play that right wing role, can also play as a number 10. He has said that his preferred role would be a number 10. I think Tottenham next season will play big things, and we've seen how it's important to have also a big squad, with especially with a team like Tottenham. We've seen the injuries they faced last season. So a player like Mohamed Kudus, who already has top experience with a team like Ajax and who has played also in the Conference League with West Ham, it's a big move. So for me, Mohamed Kudus is really a great fit. But I'm wondering where he will play though, because if Tottenham buys a player like Morgan Gibbs-White, who's also number 10, where does he fit? So I'm a bit curious about that, but it stays that Mohamed Kudus, I don't forget his first season in the Premier League. Last season, he didn't work out well for him, but I believe there's still a player in him. And so Mohamed Kudus, for me, it's a great fit. What about Ryan Cherki? Look, there is no doubt about the player. Ryan Cherki is a talented midfielder. I think he should even have left Lyon even earlier in his career. I think he has the potential to win big trophies. When I'm talking about big trophies, I'm talking about individual trophies. I think Ryan Cherki could be a star player in a team. But for me, I think Ryan Cherki would have been a step before going to a top team like Manchester City. So I still have doubts about him at a top level with a team that will ask him to put efforts week in, week out. So that's why I don't put it in great fit, because I think there is a position to take with the departure of Kevin De Bruyne. But I'll still put him in a good addition because of the level of the player. What about Simon Adingra to Sunderland? Oh my god, what a transfer that Sunderland are making, because they've already signed Enzo Lefe, they've signed Shamsuddin Talbi, and they're signing Simon Adingra, who has Premier League experience, who has been the best player at the African Cup of Nations with Ivory Coast. He's basically won the African Cup of Nations for Ivory Coast. There is an explosive winger in Simon Adingra. There is, I think, a great talent. I don't forget his first season at Brighton. I don't forget his top season at Union Saint-Gilloise in the Belgian league. I think he could fit in this Sunderland team, and I think there was a need for a winger. We know that this Sunderland team are building something special with a manager like Lebris, so I think he fits in that sort of French team with Regis Rebeu, with players like James Rebeu, with a player like Enzo Lefe. I'm curious about what Sunderland will do in the Premier League next season, but for me, I think that's a good addition. So that's the final tier list, guys. I want to know in the comments, what is the best transfer move this summer? Is there any move that I think I haven't talked in the video? I want to know your thoughts in the comments, and see you for the next one. Ciao, ciao.